Let's start out with just the introductory reading here. The writer sets before us the priesthood, which is superior. Hebrews 7, 1-10. Let me hasten to say that the writer of this epistle to the Hebrews surely respects the Levitical priesthood. He found no fault in God's arrangement under the law. He will, however, show the priesthood of Jesus is superior to the one of that of the Levitical. This he will do in the section by setting before us thus: the conduct of Abraham, verses 1-3. We are told of Abraham's meeting Melchizedek and how he blessed him. Let's read that. Hebrews 7, 1-3. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of Most High God, met Abraham before returning from the slaughter of the kings, and blessed him. And to him Abraham apportioned a tenth of everything. He is first, by translation of his name, King of Righteousness, and then he is King of Salem, that is, King of Peace. He is without father or mother or genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but resembling the Son of God, he continues a priest forever. And then the second section under that, the contribution of Abraham. Abraham accords great honor by the giving to Melchizedek the chief spoils. He would offer him nothing less than the best. Verses 4-10. See how great this man was to whom Abraham the patriarch gives a tenth of the spoils? And those descendants of Levi who received the priestly office have a commandment in the law to take tithes from the people, that is, from their brothers. Though these also are descended from Abraham, but this man, who does not have his descent from them, received tithes from Abraham, and blessed him who had the promises. It is beyond dispute that the inferior is blessed by the superior. It is in the one case, tithes are received by mortal men, but in the other, by one who has testified that he lives. One might even say that Levi himself, who received tithes, paid tithes through Abraham, for he was still in the loins of his ancestor when Melchizedek met him. The writer sets before us a priesthood which supersedes, verses 11-21. As the writer has shown one to be superior to the other, he now moves to show that now one supersedes the other. This just means one is taken away, the other is established. Beginning at verse 11. Now, if perfection had been attainable through the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need would there have been for another priest to arise after the order of Melchizedek, rather than one named after the order of Aaron? For when there is a change in the priesthood, there is necessarily a change in the law as well. For the one of whom these things are spoken belonged to another tribe, from which no one has ever served at the altar. For it is evident that our Lord was descended from Judah, and in connection with that tribe, Moses said nothing about priest. This becomes even more evident when another priest arises in the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become a priest not on the basis of legal requirement concerning bodily descent, but the power of indestructible life. For it is witnessed of him, you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. For on the one hand, a former commandment is set aside because of its weakness and uselessness. For the law made nothing perfect. But on the other hand, a better hope is introduced through which we draw near to God. And verse 21. But this one was made a priest with an oath by the one who said to him, the Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever. Perfection demanded that it should. Let's go back. We need context. It supersedes. Why does it supersede? Because perfection demanded that it should supersede. The Levitical priesthood was tied to a law and sacrifices that made nothing complete. Therefore, such must be superseded by a priesthood that would accomplish this. So since they cannot make anything complete, they have to be taken over by something that could make things complete. Sacrifices, law, did not ever make people complete with God. And so there had to be something else. Prophecy said that it would. Verses 20 and 21, 3 different times in this section, the writer quotes from Psalm 110, verse 4, prophesying that the old law and the old Levitical priest would not last forever. They would be superseded by a new law. The writer sets before us a priesthood which is suitable. Verses 22 to 28. If one order is going to supersede the other, then the one that is established will surely fit our needs. If it did not, we would be well off with old order of things. He is suited to fit the place of a high priest, in that he is changeless. Under the Levitical order, there are many priests. Consecrated, his character is above reproach, and he will never prove unfit. Compassionate, he could well say when we are tempted, I know the feeling. He has been there. When we need help, we have one who understands. Brother Wentford Clark. Let's read that last section. This makes Jesus the guarantor of a better covenant. Verse 23, the former priests were many in number because they were prevented by death from continuing in office. But he holds his priesthood permanently because he continues forever. Consequently, he is able to save to the uttermost those who draw near to God through him, since he always lives to make intercession for them. For it was indeed fitting that we should have such a high priest, holy, innocent, unstained, separated from sinners, and exalted above the heavens. He has no need, like those high priests, to offer sacrifices daily, first for his own sins, then for those of the people, since he did this once for all when he offered up himself. For the law appoints men in their weakness as high priest, but the word of oath, which came later than the law, appoints a son who has been made perfect forever.